Day 8 was touring the Miyajima Shrine, and more importantly, enjoying the deer trying to get their modeling paychecks. We got to see one of them working her moneymaker for a school group.
The deer is a part of the school. He goes here. He enrolls.
He's earning his degree, just like the others.
Itsukushima Shrine was built right on top of the water, and people take boats through its famous torii gate to be blessed. The famous gate was another Japanese national treasure we got to see along our trip, but in order to lick it, I would have had to get my socks wet, so that was a no. The shrine also has a no Japanese drama stage that dates back to the 1590s, as well as an arch bridge that was designated for imperial messengers. After the Shinto shrine, we walked a ways to a Buddhist shrine, enjoying more deer along our path.
Did you know Geico can save you 15% or more?
What?
The Buddhist shrine was pretty, and we got the opportunity to partake in Buddhist traditions, mainly the ones where we could just make a lot of noise. I did a lap of the shrine, enjoying the statues, then headed back to take more photos of the deer and a nice album cover for Nina.
Hello. What brings you to these parts?
We then made our way back into Hiroshima, which has become an impressive city that made me further depressed about the state of Detroit. We visited the former Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotional Hall, which survived the A-bomb, which detonated only about 600 meters above the building. We walked through the Hiroshima Peace Park, which was full of memorials of the war. I got to see the spot where Obama gave his speech, and then we visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, which was well done and very depressing. To cheer up, we had dinner at a make-your-own-meal place where we made, okonomiyaki? A weird combination of tortilla, spaghetti, and salad. It was surprisingly good, and the last thing we did that day. Day 9, rather than taking the Hello Kitty bullet train, we took a normal train to Kongobuji Temple. As we were about halfway through these vlogs, I wish to remind you that this trip was a religions college course study, so we went to a lot of temples and shrines. This one had a famous Zen rock garden that is meant to look like a dragon emerging from the clouds. We then traveled to Okanoin, I'd give up, temple, the largest cemetery in Japan. Rather than individual graves, the Japanese cremate their dead and then store the ashes in family shrines. The result is a forest of monoliths remembering those who had passed. What I found interesting is that for those who felt dedicated to their work and company, they could choose to have their ashes rest with their company's memorial, with Japan's aerospace memorial being one of the most impressive. We got to stay the night in a Buddhist temple where they had a pet microwave. Day 10, we went to the Bamboo Grove and Tenryuji temple. The bamboo towered above us, with the stalks closest to the path covered in visitors' engravings.
Froggy?
This temple had a beautiful garden and was a perfect example of Japanese's care for nature and attention to detail. I got to see some gardeners using ladders to pluck dead pine needles off of a tree's branch to ensure that the garden remained verdant green. Next, the boys of the trip continued on to Iwatayama Monkey Park, while the rest of the party stayed in town to shop for souvenirs. To get to the monkey park, Brian, Jeff, and I had to hike up a mountain, but were rewarded with the experience of being in an open monkey park. Overlooking the town, the park allowed you to enjoy the view and feed monkeys safely behind a fence. It was amazing to see the monkeys playing and socializing right in front of me, and rather than watching them from afar at a zoo, I was the one walking through their habitat. After monkeying around, we squeezed into the slide near the peak and made our way down to the rest of the group in town. Taking the trains, our group made our way to Kyoto, where we had dinner and checked into our hotel. After realizing our hotel was about a mile away from both of the Nintendo headquarters, I got Jeff and Nina to go on a late night walk to see the buildings.
And action.
Let me in! Let me in!
No, wait, do it again. I'm gonna, and. Actually, I was gonna zoom. And
I gotta have fun with
action.
it.
Let me in! Let me in!
Give me Mega Man stuff!
And now we're all just saying stuff.
Okay.
Let me in. Let me in! All Fire Emblem Arthur in there.
Yep, they were just standard business buildings, but it was still cool to see. After getting stared down by the building's security guards, we called it a night. Day 11, we took the portal for individuals to the, oh boy, Sanju Sangendo Hall, the longest wooden temple hall in Japan. While at the temple, I passed an artist painting the natural hillside and colorful temple. Exploring the shops near the temple, I found more matcha-flavored foods, as well as interesting toys and knickknacks. Our group was then invited to experience a Japanese tea ceremony, which, thankfully, was a brief instructional one, not a traditional 4-hour one. We got to learn how the matcha tea was meant to be served, and some of the etiquette and tradition that went into the ceremony. Afterwards, we then got to try a Buddhist meditation, which was interesting, but for someone with a quite chaotic mind, I would just close my eyes, try to empty my mind, and... Anyway, we then got to explore the various shops throughout Kyoto, which I immediately grabbed Nina and locked in on the Kyoto Pokemon Center.
Big boy. This is sicko mode.
The center featured more Japanese-themed Pokemon products, but still had an impressive collection of plushies and more. Our last destination was the Gyeon Corner Traditional Performance Show, which sought to perform a variety of Japanese historical arts. No theater, comedy, geisha, and even Bunraku puppet drama.
That's all for part 3. I'm working on part 4. I promise. Almost done with this series.